Go fast, centipede.
Fuck. There's one right next to you, so you better go. Come on, Austin. I'll go first. Okay.
What is this, like, way too small?
Oh my fucking god. We made it.
Somebody should film this shit.
Oh, it's all wet. Oh my god.
Are you filming?
I'm filming.
We are going down here. I don't really orientation.
This is fucking weird.
Yeah, it's so.
It really messes with your senses.
Why is it so small?
Oh, what the fuck is that?
What is it? Where are we going? Oh my god.
This is terrifying.
Oh, look at it. It's. I don't know what it is, but it's another room.
This is really
Oh, okay,
scary.
so it looks back
Oh,
around.
look, yeah, we're back at the end.
Oh my god.
Look at that fucking thing.
Jesus
There's one up
Christ.
there, there's...
That is fucking huge.
I want to go inside this thing. It's not strong enough to see anything.
Oh my god.
You should have brought a flashlight. Flashlight, not flashlight.
Thank you, Joran. I got that on video.
I don't know. Oh god, what am I walking on? Who is dumping glass?
It's like hay or
I
something.
was it became like an animal den or something at one point. Maybe it was rediscovered.
It does look like it used to house animals.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So this was this one, this big one here, probably the store, it might have been.
Imagine you're an innocent guy in the. I didn't notice this. Imagine that you're here in this building with your gun in the Second World War, and then like everybody entering, the small hole is just one by one, like. Poof, poof, poof. Okay, what was that noise? They might want to speak with interior design. Next time they build something like this. I mean, why the fuck would you?
It's not very pretty, I will say.
It is dirty, you know? It looks dirty.
I mean, yeah, I imagine these things here for at least a couple of years. I'm not sure, fun centipedes.
Oh no! Oh my. Oh my.
Okay, welcome everybody. I hope you enjoyed the preview. So the topic of today is, well, what happened if you go on a hike or discovery with me. And yeah, for guests we have, well, the three most experienced hikers with Alien to me, I guess. So they all have been in previous episodes on the podcast, so if you want to know more of them, please visit my YouTube channel, youtube.com/alien, alien to me. So the first guest is Austin from Diabetic Abroad, and well, we met on school. He was like that poor boy, always indoors or well going to bars and stuff. And
I'm sorry.
and well, actually, our second guest Max connected us. Like he came to me and he was like, "Hey, I know that American dude that is interested in hiking. would you take him along? And I was like, let's meet the guy. So we played badminton in a park.
With like Daiso, like really cheap rackets that were falling apart.
Yeah. And well, then we went on a hike, and well, the rest is history, I guess. Then
I mean, really, the rackets were like a metaphor for the hikes. Started off perfect, then they slowly broke down by the end.
And then Max also joined on hikes, and I think our first hike was in the rainy season.
It was.
Because, well, logic that everybody goes hiking in the rainy season. It's called rainy season for something, right?
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
And, well, yeah, I guess, like, beep of a lot
Yes.
happened as well on that hike. We tried live streaming it before the rebranding it, and well, it did not work out as well.
Well,
and
it turns out you don't get cell service on a mountain.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought that, right? I mean, Japan, advanced technology, so mountains with cell phone connection.
True, true.
They get the signal out on the islands. What's a mountain?
Okay, yeah, true. And then the most recent addition to the Alien to Me hiking school is Alex. And well, you two we three went on a hike.
Yeah.
But Max did not have the joy to join a hike with Alex as well, with the leg.
If you see one of Bjorn's previous podcasts, you can learn about why I didn't go on a hike with Alex.
Yes, unfortunately.
Okay, so with that, I think, well, most of the introductions are out of the way. So, time for the first question. Everybody the same question. What was the most wonderful experience hiking? Like, hiking school?
I guess we're trying to go in order of introductions then. I think the most interesting hike was there's a lot because like each hike is so different. It's hard to pick one that is like most interesting. I'd say my favorite is probably the Kaimondake in Ibuzuki. One of the highest and like probably one of the most I'd say that's probably the interesting one. Was such a unique hike. Like even anything from the terrain, the view is so different from anything we've really done before. One, just being out of Fukuoka, you know, as you said, like in the past, like on our hikes, like you always see like Fukuoka Tower, which can kind of, you know, soil the view. But I think one, being away, getting something new, and just the experience of that hike alone is probably one of my favorites. And almost falling off the mountain was fun.
Remember that picture? That was scary.
Oh, God. Yeah, so the story, should I tell the story?
Yeah, yes.
As the story goes, on the way down, we were very tired. We were very unprepared for this hike. I think I went into a little bit of it during my episode, we, on the way down, we were unprepared. We were hiking in sneakers, and the mountain is a volcano, so like there's a lot of loose rubble and rocks on the path, and I was kind of close along the edge, and a group of rocks slipped out from under my feet, and I fell with them. But luckily, I usually have a stick that I find on the mountain. And that got wedged behind me in between two trees. Then my legs also kind of caught the ledge and saved me, and Jorn was able to pull me back up. But I was hanging there for a good minute or two, just kind of like, hey, this is great. I didn't really comprehend what was going on because it was so fast, but I was having a good time hanging there.
You were just hanging around, you would say.
Yeah, quite literally. But yeah, no, it was a really fun hike. I'd say that's my favorite and most interesting hike.
Yeah, like to be honest, like I got kind of mixed feelings about that hike because so many times we could have died.
Yeah.
Like No, not only like we talked about it in the diabetes episode, but like it was the middle of the summer, in the most southern points before like going to the islands, in Japan, and if you've ever been to Japan, like you know that like normal people don't go hiking in the summer in
good reason.
unprepared because it's so hot. And it is so moist, and there are like bugs, and it's like, it's just plain fun. Well, we cannot scare Alex too much. He still needs to go on hikes with me in the summer. So. But yeah, no. But so like what happened, like mountain up, like there was kind of the snake on. And we had to jump from rock to rock, and I was like, oh hey, a snake, and I kind of lose my balance, and I fell on a pointy rock, and like the middle of my foot started hurting. But I was like, because it was like sneakers, right, nothing protected.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this bleep hurts as fuck, right? So. Well, I was like, shall we go down? Like just go up, and then we went up and then down, and then we lost Austin a couple of times on the way down, and then it hurt so much that I, against all the rules that everybody knows, if something happens like on the mountain, you cannot like take off your shoes or stuff like that because it will start to swell, but it hurts as fuck. And I was like, okay, no. And I took off my shoe, and like there was like this bone-shaped bump. And I kind of was like, without thinking, I pushed on it, and it was like crack. And it shot back into place, and I was like, oh, this feels better. And I was like, hey, walking in the park, and then I heard suddenly shouting while I was like happily walking down, and then I had to pull up Austin because he was like hanging over the mountain.
This is the importance of is the Austin alive check.
I even got my like the little whistle on my bag. So
Austin, you okay?
And I'm always like usually behind on the pack. The what is it, like the ring? What's the word like for the kind of last person in the group? Like
I forget the word in English.
I can't think of it. But yeah, I'm usually like the last person in the group. So we always have a shout to check. Hey, is our guy still alive? Is Austin still good?
The most funny part about like you falling off the mountain, well, if we can call it funny, is the fact that like we had like friends not hiking, like going to Ibuzuki, and I called with them to check up on them, and they were like, oh yeah, where is Alex? And I was like, I don't know, but Alex, Austin. Oh god. Where is Austin? And I was like, well, I don't know, but we hiked so many times together, he will be fine. And they were like stressed out, like you could hear their voice, and they were, yeah, well, go back and check up on him. And then, well, I did, and he was just walking down, so I was like, okay, see, like everything normal. And then we walked, you fell off the mountain, they called back, and did you find Austin? Well, in the meantime he fell off the mountain, but for the rest it was fine. So
yeah, the timing of everything was pretty comical, honestly. Like, no one got hurt, so it's like, yeah, we can laugh at it. It was honestly one of my favorite hikes. So, and it was like the first like time actually like traveling in Japan, really, because that was for our summer break in school. So, had a big group. Well, who was it? Like Lucas, Caddy, Cole, and all them. So that was like just a fun trip, and then ended off with almost dying, so it was a good time overall.
Well, the almost is key word of the evening, I guess. Okay, Alex, same question.
Yeah, so I haven't been on too many hikes with Yorin yet, quite a few, but probably my favorite was in Itoshima. We hiked 4 mountains in one day.
Oh, so jealous.
Yes. And so for me, it was an amazing experience because it was kind of like, my body can actually do this? Like, I can actually do something like this? I didn't believe it would be possible at first. And yet, going through all of, the mountains and one after another, it's such a sense of accomplishment. And all the beautiful views, although they were all with the Fukuoka Tower present, because wherever you hike in Fukuoka, you are able to usually see the Fukuoka Tower. It's still beautiful, but the views were absolutely beautiful. The nature was beautiful. With every mountain we went to, despite them being close, they all had different scenery, different plant life, different bugs and things, which I would stop and look at, which also made me, become very far back in the group. But Austin was there as well, so I didn't get lonely.
Can't leave
I
you
have
hanging.
to ask, did you see the mountain crab?
Yes. So actually, that was on a different hike. The mountain crab.
Oh,
The
but you saw it.
crab.
Tail
We
of
saw
the
the
mountain
mountain
crab.
crab. Yes. The famous mountain crab. Yes. Yeah, but that was probably my favorite, hiking experience so far. Just with how beautiful everything was, all the different nature I was able to see, and also the great company as well.
Oh yeah, I remember we were pretty ADHD day that day.
Yeah, that was.
Like,
we
it
were
was
rambling a
just
lot.
like one-liners after one-liners, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. Us talking and Alex just in the middle laughing.
It was hilarious every
God.
step of the way.
I honestly don't remember like too many of like the jokes we had any of the. things we had
I
going.
think there was like half an hour we start comparing hiking with women.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we're not gonna repeat those
Well, like,
jokes.
not-
It's not.
yeah.
Well, it was special. Let's call it
It
special.
was-
It's very special. Very
It's a
special.
very niche form of comedy. Let's call it that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, I will agree with like the scenery and like the plant life. It's like it's amazing in like Fukuoka, despite all the mountains we did being so close. There was such like a vast like difference in like plants. Like some look like spruce like trees, and like you walk another maybe half hour, then you're in like almost tropical. Looks like
It's so true. It's so true. It's
crazy.
amazing.
Also, like what side of the mountain you're climbing is totally different.
Yeah, that's also
it's,
true.
It's incredible.
Yeah, even on the same mountain, it can be different, the nature you encounter.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
And we saw snakes that day.
We did see
Yeah.
snakes that day. It was starting to get warmer again, so all the bugs and, animals were starting to come out, which, the bugs I have mixed feelings about, but they weren't too bad, so yeah, I still thought they were cool, That may change in the future, but I still enjoyed all the bugs. Yeah.
But the bugs aren't bad in their natural habitat. If
Absolutely.
they're my home, it's different thing.
The problem. Well, the thing with the bugs is that they, are attracted by sweat.
Oh yeah.
So now the hiking, they are minding their own business because you don't sweat that much.
Yeah.
But if you go hiking in the summer with a lot of bugs, they will follow you.
Yeah.
One of the mountains you did.
Yeah,
in
the
that-
last one.
We did as a day trip, and we had to run up the mountains just to get rid of the bugs.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
kept attacking
no.
us.
I think at
It
that
was
point
like-
that was the fastest mountain we had completed.
Good motivator for sure.
Every time we wanted to stop for breathing, just only
just-
breathing, or take a sip, they came and they attacked us. And it was like, okay, we're going.
Yeah, no, you were wasting so much energy just swinging your arms around trying to get them away. It's it was miserable, honestly.
We said we're never doing this mountain again. And then
Here we are.
yeah,
We did it 2 more times.
2 more times. Because the prequel, you could not make it that
Oh,
day.
yeah.
We tried to do the full mountain hike. But there was a slight problem. It was raining cats and dogs. Really raining.
See, yeah.
Come on,
I've-
we know that's not a problem.
Well,
Well, if you see, the forecast said, "Oh, we're only gonna get what is it
one millimeter of rain
Yeah,
maximum.
something super minimal." It was not
It was not that.
It was not
Uh,
minimal.
It was like all the mud and like it got a certain suction, so it's
yeah.
so tiring. And then after 3 mountains we called it a day. Like we were
Yeah.
like the 4th mountain. Well,
No.
let it be.
Yeah.
Okay, Max.
So my favorite, we hiked twice together, was Raizan, and I think we all three of us did both times. Sorry, Austin, or Alex. I did it too. My bad. So we did it once in the rainy season, which was cool. Not because of how wet and rainy it was, but because of it changes the entire scenery of the mountain, right?
Yeah.
So I remember one of the coolest things about that was we were so high we could see the rain clouds moving through the mountain.
Yeah.
So you could watch as the clouds just vaporized and then reappeared through trees and things like that. It was really cool to witness.
Yeah.
I remember taking a short video of it and just showing it to people at school, and they're like, "I've never seen anything like that. It's so cool." And then the second time that we did it was honestly my personal favorite, because the first time we hiked it the wrong way, which ended up in our benefit. I mean, you could hike it
Yeah.
either way, but we ended up hiking the more abandoned trail, and that's when we all, you included, kinda, free climbed a waterfall. That is also when I almost killed you by free climbing a waterfall.
Yeah. It's good times.
So our wonderful, adventurous lad here decides, I want to free climb that waterfall. Yeah, the safety equipment's all falling apart because this part of the trail's abandoned, but I still want to do it. And I was like, okay.
And me and you both like haphazardly try to like watch and make sure he doesn't like tumble down the mountain.
All right. And Leorn doesn't look like he's going to die, so I think it's okay.
Yeah.
So then I follow up, and Austin's doing the same thing for me, making sure I don't die, and then a rock falls loose as I'm climbing, and it just starts tumbling down.
And oh yeah, because I moved out of the way just in case, because I was scared. Okay, like because I was seeing, because when Yor was going up, stuff was falling.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you were going up, I was kind of still standing a bit closer, and I was like, I should probably move back. And like as soon as I did, a big rock just tumbles down.
That was very fortunate I didn't kill you that day.
And because Yor left his bag with us.
Oh yeah!
to test climb the mountain.
And I was like, I gotta get it up there somehow. So I took both backpacks with me. That was terrible. It was terrible. And then Jorn climbed back down a little bit. It was like, just toss it to me. I was like, I have one arm, Jorn. This is not a good idea. But we did it. We did it. All three of
Luckily,
us made it to the top.
I took a different, arguably safer route up, but yeah, we all managed to get up the waterfall.
That was also the time I saw the legendary mountain crab. I was very happy. I was like, what is this? Why is there a crab on a mountain? I couldn't understand it. And I was like, oh, I gotta take a picture, but I wasn't fast enough because it found its little burrow and burrowed inside. I was like, dang, but I saw the mountain crab.
The mountain crab.
The mountain crab's like Bigfoot.
And I also remember it was a very hot day. And so we took our shirts off. I was very fortunate and dunked mine in the river as we were climbing, so I got a little bit more time before I had to take it off because it was so hot. And as we were about to reach the peak of the mountain, we finally passed some hikers, and it was a very elderly couple, but very in good spirits and in good health. And I was shirtless, and the woman walks by me with her husband right behind me and says, "Oh, I'm so happy," and just drags her hand down my chest. I was just in such shock that this happened. I was standing there. What just happened to me? Her husband's right there.
She must have been like 70 or 80 or something.
Oh yeah. I was like, that was interesting. That was very strange. So it was a ton of memorable experiences. Oh, and the safety equipment was all broken. So like when we were descending that one area and there was one of the guardrail posts with the chains that had just plain fallen off the trail.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Doesn't look like we should hike this, but it looks like a lot of fun. So that mountain was definitely the most memorable. Mountain crab, broken safety equipment, free climbing waterfall, and very, very... Yeah, I can't use that word. Very, very needy older woman.
So I have actually like something to tell you. So the second time we climbed it was also the wrong time.
Ah, I see.
So we climbed it in the winter.
Yeah.
The right one, and the actual waterfall. We free climbed a waterfall. The actual waterfall is like 3-4 times that height,
Of course it is.
and also not maintained
Of
because
course.
it is like a forbidden road.
Yeah.
You cannot climb it.
Yeah.
But I climbed it with Alex and after as well. So and there were even more like do not enter signs, but.
It's fine. Here we are.
It did not say like do not enter. It was like if you enter here, you will inconvenience a lot of people, and a lot of people died, and a lot of people got lost, and like all the big signs.
So it wasn't a do not enter. It was advice.
Yes, exactly.
That's why I like hiking in Japan. They never say do not enter this trail. They say like, well, you inconvenience a lot of people if something goes wrong. So
Yeah.
the only thing that you have to do is not
Don't screw up.
Yeah.
It's true. The other thing is when we entered, they had all these like ominous haiku like poems that are like if you call out, no one can hear your voice,
Oh.
or like you enter here, you are irresponsible. Like all these really ominous like Japanese things. And I had at first we didn't know what they were saying because there was a lot of kanji, couldn't exactly read them. And as soon as we got back to internet service, we started translating them, and I'm like, oh, these are bad. These are really. Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Lovely
Did it
hike.
have-
Lovely hike though.
They didn't have the
Lovely
haikus when we did it. Were those like new?
Yeah, no,
Or,
it
like-
was snowed under.
Oh, so they were like down low. Okay.
Like, well, yeah, kinda. Like because there was like so many snow when we went.
Yeah.
Austin and I, like the website where we found the hike on just said like, well, if you lose the way, just go up, and the whole mountain ridge is, well, the path.
Yeah.
Back. So we were like, oh, I think I can see on that tree next to that thing of snow like a wet piece, something red. So, well, let's just go up this hill. Like we'll go up, and then like we went up.
Yeah.
But now with all the snow molten, we went up just randomly, wild free climbed the mountain again. Because like it was painted on the rocks, the road that we had to follow.
With yellow spray paint.
So foreboding haikus in spray paint. Interesting.
Well, it
Well,
was impressive.
Maybe the haikus were new.
I think
as well.
they seemed newer.
might be new because they did a lot more signs like do not, well, with the equivalent of do not enter.
Yeah. Advice.
And with us, the gate at the start of the trail was kind of open, right? But now it was completely closed and sealed with rope and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I kind of want to see it.
rope never stopped me before.
Yes.
But yeah, it was fun, and we had like to be honest, like we had safety gear.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did.
Like we had safety gear, like the winter hike and the summer hike as well.
Yeah.
Like,
But for all the viewers at home, do not hike the abandoned trails, especially if you are not trained and without safety gear.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
and without me,
And without you,
And without
yes, our
our
trusty
wonderful
mountain
leader.
guide.
I can save you. After almost killing you and putting you in
Yeah,
danger,
yeah.
I can pull you out of there. Okay, like
So
maybe
that kinda brings us-
almost the same question,
Yeah, I
but
guess-
what was the most dangerous experience you had on
I'd
a hike?
say the most dangerous one is probably a tie between the winter Rizon hike and I forget the name, but the one where the trails did not exist anymore.
Oh, the small.
It was like in a shrine.
Oh yes.
Yeah, where you like
the first time we drove with the car as
Yeah.
well. Yes.
yeah.
That was a fun day.
Your
That's-
definition of fun scares me.
Don't worry, it scares me too, but I still go. No, but I'd say it's a tie between both of those, simply because Rizon, honestly, on the way up in the winter, it was pretty fine for the most part. It was nothing like overly dangerous, but it was more so on the way down, because by the time we got to the top, it was already sunset. So On the way down, it was a race for time, racing the sun all the way down, and we lost. But so about maybe halfway down the mountain, we like the sun had set. It was dark. Only one of us had a flashlight, and all the ice that had melted during the day was freezing over. So we were going down this steep hill, almost no traction, sliding on our butts, trying to like, steer ourselves down the mountain. Like it's like if the slide from Mario 64, but more dangerous. There was no penguin racing. It was no, but so it was just very haphazardly making our way down a frozen mountain with barely any light. And then the shrine hike. I can't remember the name of it. For the
I
life
think
of me.
I'm thinking Homan.
No,
it
I
was
think that's
Homan.
in
No,
book, isn't it?
Homan
Right.
is with the stairs.
Homan is
Yeah.
That's by the
Dazaiku.
Dazaiku, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
then what's the name of the other one? It's also with an H. But
Yeah, that's a hard
I
one.
want to say like Honan. Something? I don't know. Probably not.
something with HI or something.
Hiko? No, I don't know.
Well, it was
Anyway,
Well-
yeah. If we think of it, it might come to us later in the podcast. But we will.
Yeah,
Hiko.
Hiko.
Yeah, it was
Hiko.
Hiko-san.
I
Okay.
think Hiko.
But-
Quick interruption. Like Jazzy Waters says, you guys should really get a T-shirt after hiking with Juren. I went hiking with Juren survival shirt.
I would buy that. Yeah, no, I'd support that.
Soon available in the store.
So, no, but yeah. So Hiko-san was a trail that Yoren. It was like the first time Yoren drove in Japan because he just got like the temporary like.
But
International
yeah,
license,
it's
So we were like, yeah, we wanna go to like a hike, like a mountain far out. So we chose this one. Was about like an hour, 2 hour drive away. About an hour, 2 hour drive away. So we get there. It's fine. Minor struggles with navigation. So we make our way up, get to this like the shrine area where like the start of the hike is, and it's under construction. Like, gets like signs out like it's kind of scattered around the shrine grounds, and we don't think much of it. We just kind of go, to the start of the trail, which is coincidentally right in the area that they're working on. So just it's fine. We go. We get about maybe 10-20 minutes into the hike, and there's no more tape. There's nothing. No
guideposts.
No guideposts. No anything. And it was like, what, this kind of looks like a trail. Let's head up this way.
To be honest, we had the website like loaded, and it said like, well, if you see this in a picture, and then like something that looked like the trail we were following,
Yeah.
like on the picture, so we were like, okay, let's go that way.
Yeah, let's do it. And then about like after climbing this like was like a rock waterfall basically, like super like
It was like covered with loose rocks. Like
Yeah.
there was no water, but it was like
Yeah.
just like really steep and like
just
covered with big
very-
loose rocks. Like,
yeah. So we got pretty high on that, and it just kept going up. It was like we were looking for tape, nothing, and we were like, "Are we sure we want to keep going?" And like we eventually decided like it'd probably be just as dangerous to go down because of the loose rocks. We put our like weight anywhere we could fall. So we decided, we need to keep going up. That's really our only option. So we kind of like make our way, scaling the mountain, like going back and forth between like tree to tree, or however we can manage. At this point, we've decided that there's no trail. We just have to make our way up. And eventually, we get to a point where we can't go up anymore. It's just like a sheer rock face. There's no way to go any higher. So we follow around the mountain for as long as we can, and again we get to a dead end, it drops off. But we have this like really small, like maybe like almost. It's,
like I climbed it first, and I was like, well, I don't advise climbing up, but I leave the decision to you. If you think you are fine, then okay. And you are looking from not even like 1 meter climbing when things became like really bad for climbing. Like
Yeah.
like I had builder experience. You
At
had
that time,
nothing,
I know.
and so you were like, I can do this.
I can do it. It's fine.
I can do this.
Hey,
So,
just confidence is key.
I was like, okay, like just do, and then
I take like a step and I just give up. Like there's no way.
no, it was worse. It was worse. You don't need to downplay the thing. Like we were climbing, like I let him climb first, so I could kind of catch him, right? And I was climbing behind him, and then like he was like suddenly like we were like maybe 1.5 meters, 2 meters, maybe higher. I don't know anymore, but we could not go down.
Yeah.
And he was, oh, I can't do this. I'm like, well, you kinda have to. We are hanging on this rock. There is like, well, you have to go up now.
Yeah.
There is no down anymore.
Yeah, no. But like
You were like, no, I cannot do
Yeah,
it. So
like,
I
for, like,
climbed kind of
having
next over Austin.
yeah, you kind of grabbed like a tree and like kind of almost like swung down, like kind of grabbed me. But like from like my perspective though, it's like I had no like bouldering experience, like you said, so I had no idea how to like move or like balance my body or like really use like finger strength in that way. So like seeing you do it, I was like, oh yeah, that doesn't seem too hard.
Of course.
Yeah,
I can
no,
do
I can
this.
do
Yeah.
that. Yeah, how hard can it be?
I mean, no experience. I can clearly compete with an expert.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But yeah, no, I try it, and at this point, I think it was like adrenaline too, because like obviously it's a drop, like right below you if you make a wrong step, and like so I start doing it, like maybe a meter up, and it's just like no, this there's no way I can do this. I don't know how, but luckily yeah, I figured it out and got up to that point, but.
Well, I pulled you up onto it.
Yeah, yeah. More so you
But
figured
yeah,
it
like,
out. Yeah.
but yeah, we got up and then we found our way back down. I guess.
Yeah. Which wasn't much better, but I mean, we got down. So, and then when we got to the bottom, turns out there's a sign that clearly says, "Hey, don't hike." They're doing construction on it.
Yeah, the hiking route was closed off.
Yeah.
And the thing was like where we ended, where literally all the signposts were just laying next to each other on the ground. So we, for some reason, our brain just conveniently skipped like the giant pile of signposts at the start of the hiking trail. I was like, it was not there when we started. But it was a fun hike though.
So I'd
Like,
say both of those mountains probably take the place for most dangerous.
Yeah. Okay, Alex, what was your experience?
I have to say mine was also probably Ryzen, even though it was in the summer, it was a lot more safe than in the winter when, it was icy. It was still a little bit intimidating, definitely, because there were signs everywhere that were like, hey, you probably shouldn't hike here, hey, big red, roped off. I was like, I don't know. But then right at the entrance, we saw the mountain crabs, and so we had to go to the trail because of the mountain crabs, obviously. And we brought safety gear and everything, and Joran was there, so it did make me feel safe, to be able to do it.
Oh, that's a compliment.
Well, I mean, despite how crazy Joran is, he does know what he's doing on the mountains. I trust him to know the way.
Don't quite know if that's a compliment as well, but okay, I'll take it.
It is a
For
compliment.
Jorn's
It is a
business
compliment.
to take people hiking with him.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That business is probably ruined after this podcast.
Maybe for a
Yeah,
journal
I'll
junkies.
vouch. I'll be a spokesperson. Like, you can put a quote for me, like on the website. Like, hey,
I
Absolutely.
survived.
I survived.
I survived, yes. And we'll have the t-shirts and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But that was definitely, you know, it was also interesting because we went with one of our friends from Russia who did not get the memo about safety gear. And that was probably the funniest thing to me because Yor and I were being so very careful and meticulous, and he was just jumping over gaps, like running ahead, like almost slipping and falling. We're like, oh my god!
And he's got a wife and a kid.
He has a wife and a kid, and so it was absolutely insane. But some of the climbs were, you know, a little bit intimidating. But, you know, after seeing Yoren do them and kind of figuring out how to do them myself, it was, you know, more so fun than anything.
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't as much of, you know, just pounding upwards and stamina. It was being very careful and meticulous where you step, because if you do not step in the right place, you might fall down, and it wouldn't be the worst thing, but you
It
would
would
get
hurt.
hurt. Yeah, exactly. So I thought it was really, really fun, and, you know, it was a great hike overall.
Yeah, it was like an amazing hike.
Absolutely, it was beautiful.
Well, a bit concerned after arriving at the top. Like, we hiked right on quite a bit, right?
Mm.
And well, there were never those signs, but like we arrived at the top, and everywhere, even with pictures, there was like, watch out for mamushi. Like a mamushi is the, I think, second most deadliest snake,
Hmm.
and it got the color of the fallen leaves that we were like walking in the whole time.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And climbing, and it lives in the cracks in the rocks that we
Yeah.
were like just putting our hands in to
Mhm.
climb and stuff.
Yep.
Like, yeah, we might have been lucky.
I think we definitely were. That was, I think, what did we call it? The snake hike, because we saw so many snakes. Because on the way
Yeah.
there, we saw one on the road.
Oh yeah,
like,
indeed.
It was,
Oh my freaking god! I
Yeah.
almost forgot. It was huge.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
was huge, and it was just chilling on the road.
Yep, chilling on the road.
I was like, is that a branch? And then it moved, and I was like,
Uh-oh.
oh, that
Yeah,
is
that
not
is not
a
a
branch.
branch.
So
That is not a
everybody like backed off, and then our Russian friend just run to get a close up because, well, his cell phone did not have a zoom function. And he just run to the snake, and it was this like olive-colored snake, probably like, and it suspiciously looked a lot like the most dangerous snake of Japan,
Yes.
like most
yes.
deadliest snake. And then I was like, come
Maybe-
back,
maybe-
please.
yeah, maybe
Come back, please.
Back away from the snake.
Yeah, it's probably
Well,
still a snake.
He kind of listened, luckily, but
Yes, yes.
it was like, and that was even before the hike started.
I know. On the way there, yeah, on the road there.
It was fun.
Yeah, definitely very fun.
So, like, the clue is like almost dying here, like, right?
Yes,
Exceeds
yes.
Skirt the line of death.
Absolutely. Well, that's what makes it fun.
It truly is.
Okay, Max.
My personal most dangerous one was when we free climbed that waterfall in Raizan.
Mm.
But I mean, we all did it. We all were fine after, and that was fine. But I remember what I think is the most dangerous of all of our hikes was when poor Austin here, and I don't remember which hike it was, had its insulin pump fall out before we hit the peak of the mountain. Now, we were very close to the peak of the mountain.
Where was it? Because did that happen with you too? Because I remember it.
I was there.
Because I only remember it happening for like the one in
Yeah.
Ibuski.
Okay, but
I can't
Well,
refresh my memory. I don't remember this one.
You most of the time struggle a bit with your insulin level when we get near the top of the mountain, so I did not pay a lot of attention to it.
Yeah.
But when was it?
Ah,
Depending on the season, I can probably remember the hike.
ooh, that is a hard question because we went on so many
Yeah.
back then. So it was after rainy season,
After rainy season.
but before winter.
Like, is it the one with the hey mom, I'm on the top
That
of the
one,
mountain,
yes.
man?
Oh, jeez. I don't remember it falling out then. I just remember the hey mom. That probably takes it over.
But yeah, the hey mom experience.
Yeah, that was very fun. But yeah, so your insulin pump fell out as we were just about to reach the peak of the mountain, and we were like, we don't know what to do here. Should we go back? We're almost at the peak. Should we just keep going? And you're like, oh, we're almost there.
I remember now. Yes, indeed, it happened before.
This is not even in my memory anymore.
Because I remember when we got to the peak, we're like, what do we do for dinner? Austin, are you going to be okay? And you're like, yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Is that because I think I remember we went to we stopped for ice cream floats afterwards or something like that.
Yeah,
I think that
because
was it.
you needed sugar and stuff. You said you felt a bit weak, or I don't know what, but
I don't know actually, because if my pump fell out, I probably would not have wanted sugar, but
Yeah.
but
maybe I would. I don't know.
Regardless, I think that was the most dangerous one because when we finally got to the bottom and then got back to civilization, I know it was in the Itoshima area because the station we went to was the Itoshima station.
wasn't it Mikazuki? That's
It
not.
might have been.
But it's not it's not Itoshima area.
Yeah, that
It
was
is the north of Fukuoka.
Kashi, I think, is the station we
Like
came back from.
yeah,
I just remember that the station we went back to was Itoshima Station, and when we got there, we're like, oh, there's a couple of places around here. It's also when you pointed out the first special hotel that we saw in Japan. That aside, so then we were like, okay, Austin, where do you want to go for dinner? And you looked me straight in the face with the most serious eyes I'd ever seen on your face and said, I need to go home.
okay, then it's not Mikazuki and not the ice floats.
Yeah.
The ice floats was Mikazuki.
Yeah.
So
Maybe a different one. I don't remember. Who knows? Might have been right.
Itoshima, there is only in that time frame, Kaya-san maybe?
oh, it might have been Kaya-san.
Kaya-san.
Mm. But yeah, so that I think was the most dangerous because at that point we're in the middle of the mountain. We have no way of contacting anyone because no one has cell service.
Yeah.
You need insulin, and we're like, well, I guess we gotta finish. If Austin keels over, we'll carry him. You know.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. So that was what I think was the most dangerous experience.
Yeah, that's fair. Even though I don't remember, it's probably so traumatic. It just kind of cancels out. No.
And then, well, let's go to question number 3 then. What is the returning factor on hikes, except for almost dying?
Let's just
Yeah,
drop that.
we've established that dying is a common theme. But I think I gotta say the singing. That's
The singing, yes.
that is the one thing that is a staple whenever we go on a mountain. Is at some point during the hike we'll burst out into either Moana, Brother
Yes.
Bear, or
Bo Burnham.
Yeah, Bo Burnham, Country Roads. We have a whole playlist in our minds that we just go through.
Yeah, the singing is yeah. Actually, literally no clue. I think Moana is most of the time because, well, if you hike in Fukuoka, you always see the sea.
Yeah.
So it's like a trigger in our minds, I
Yeah,
guess.
no, I think something with ADHD just connects it, and then
Right.
here we are.
Because it's always the same song, and the thing is, we are singing this song every weekend for the past year and a half, and we actually still don't know the
No,
lyrics.
we don't always forget it.
We're singing 4 or 5 phrases and then kind of repeat and invent, and as long as the melody kind
Yeah,
of fits,
yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah, but I think that is definitely the returning factor because it's just a staple. Everyone knows that we're gonna sing.
Yeah,
It's
except the poor other hikers on the mountain, they don't know.
Oh,
that.
Those poor souls.
bothers them enough foreigners are on the mountain, let alone singing. And but yeah, no.
Yeah, singing is a returning factor.
Absolutely.
What else?
Yeah, for me, I would say, I don't know, we have a saying that is, we call it Yoren's Law.
Oh, okay.
I don't know this saying.
Wait, you don't?
You don't know Yoren's
I
Law?
don't know Yoren's
Come
Law.
on, even people that did not go hiking from school knew Joren's Law.
Yoren's Law.
I was surprised. It was a thing in school.
So, I don't know. I feel like other people may have a different definition of Yoren's Law. It can be many different things, but my definition is kind of what can go wrong and might go wrong and might go oddly or might happen will happen.
Ah.
And so whenever I'm on a hike with Yoren, something not necessarily wrong, but interesting or different or kind of scary might happen. So for example, my very first hike with Yoren, we met a Japanese guy who, you know, we met at the very bottom of the mountain, and he stuck with us the entire hike, just rattling on and on about the craziest stories that I do not personally think were true.
No.
You know, he was on a U.S. military base, he owns weapons, all these crazy, crazy stories. And at the end of the hike, we find out he has a giant knife on him
Of course he
the
does.
whole time. And, you know, it's like, what in the world happened? Like, stuff that you would not even think of.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was my first hike, but I found, you know, a returning thread is all these crazy, interesting things happen whenever you're with Yoren.
Yeah.
Mm.
And whenever you're on a hike with Yoren.
Mm.
And I always like it because it never gets boring. I mean, that's the thing.
Every hike has a story.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So we already got a sales point for the store. Like, it will be interesting. Safety not guaranteed.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's very true.
Okay, Alex. Alex.
It's okay. We've all done it at this point. So, Max, how was your most memorable experience? I would say. Let me see here. I want to say the reason that keeps drawing me back is, well, first I started because I'm like, I want to get healthy, and, you know, Yoren is the peak of fitness. He is not the peak of fitness. I'm just lying to make him feel better.
Thank you.
So I want to get healthy. I want to keep going on these hikes. But as I started going, I found kind of my zen there. As Alex was describing earlier, you know, when you're hiking, especially those long hikes, and you're like, I don't know if I can do this, and then you're, you know, an hour or two into it, you're starting to feel tired, but then you never get exhausted. You're tired, but you feel good, right?
Yeah.
And then as you're going through this and you get that feeling of accomplishment, like, I hit the peak of this mountain, and then I did it again a couple hours later, and then again a couple hours later. And then when you're at those peaks, especially if you run into other hikers, and you can just silently share in that moment of how amazing it was that you got to see this amazing thing that you can only do if you put forth the effort to go there, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're pushing yourself forward.
Pushing yourself forward. Because at any point, you could always just turn back and be like, you know, I'm done, I can't do it, whatever. But getting there and then looking out over Fukuoka or whatever city you're in at that time and just seeing the beautiful majesty and being like, this is what I came to Japan for.
Yeah.
You know, the culture, the experience, all those kinds of things. That's what brings me back to the hikes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You think you can turn back if you're hiking with me?
I could, Yoren. I don't know about other people.
if your insulin pump falls out, we don't turn back.
We keep pushing forward.
Keep pushing forward.
If my blood sugars aren't going up, we are too.
But truly, that's been one of the most memorable experiences, and it's always great that Yoren always brings the basic itinerary that we never follow when we go on a hike. But it has the beginning and the end, and that's all that matters.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. I've stopped asking. I think when I first went on hikes, I was like, so how difficult is this hike going to be? Am I going to be
It's
okay?
like beginner level.
Yeah, it's beginner level. If it's beginner level, you are going to be exhausted by the end of it. So, like, again, my first hike, you know, with the Japanese guy, he said, I don't know how many times, is this your first mountain? Are you going to be okay? I'm so shocked you're even here right now. That was absolutely crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
because he was exhausted.
He was exhausted. I
Like-
think it was my first mountain, but he was quite a bit more exhausted than I was. And he made it seem like he would go hiking, you know, every weekend,
Well,
all the time, starting fires. I don't know. He was a crazy guy, definitely.
yeah. Well, I noticed like his knife way before, and it's like it's not.
We're just going to keep you happy for the hike.
Exactly, exactly.
There's no one else around here.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, it was kind of the general feeling during that hike.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was almost a freaking sword. Like, it was like...
He-
And then-
he should not have been carried.
And then, like,
Yeah.
it was such a dry day, like a really dry day, and you're in the forest, right?
Mm.
And then he get the fire starter, you know, like the metal thing. You have to.
Ah, yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
the flints. Yeah.
Flint and tinder.
Yeah.
And yeah, like he get there, out of his pocket,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "Do you know how to use it?" And I was like, "Yes, I know how to use it." And then he turns to Alex, "Do you know how to use it?" And Alex, well, young and innocent as he was, no, I don't know. So he started in the middle of the mountain in the forest,
Yep.
just shooting to random plants,
Mhm.
like the
Sparks
the
out.
sparks,
Yep.
and trying to make a fire without any no water,
Yeah.
nothing, just
Yeah.
like. And then he said, like, normally it works, and I'm like, well, I don't want you to let it work. Please put it away. And luckily he listened. But okay, so are there any questions from the viewers for us? No questions. Okay, then we can talk for hours I think, about going on a hike.
So my most memorable song is when you and I started singing Bo Burnham all the way down the mountain. That was hilarious.
Oh yeah, no, Bo Burnham is.
And then poor Jorn got it stuck in his head, and he's like, "Max, why did you do this to me?"
Well, it's like welcome to the internet.
Yep, that was the one.
When I was preparing like there is a question. Okay, Mimi Gimini. Is that one of your mother?
That's my mom.
Okay, hello. Okay, do you all plan to continue hiking if you go back to your home countries? Well, I'm planning on staying in Japan anyway, so.
I mean, being that I'm going back home the soonest, I think, out of everyone here. I do plan on it. Sadly, Michigan, where I'm originally from.
We're both from.
Yeah, we're both from, is not necessarily known for having mountains. So that'll be a bit hard in that regard. But I mean, there are still trails, but won't be quite the same as, getting to the peak of whatever mountain it is and just seeing the view.
A 1
So,
kilometer mountain.
yeah, I mean, it's... But, I mean, I'll still try and definitely keep it up if I can, to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to, travel, the States a bit, too, and hopefully see some other mountains.
Absolutely. Well, I recommend Colorado.
Oh.
Self-promoting my
friends out
state,
there,
but
so,
yes,
yeah.
Colorado is
I had
great.
no
I
idea
do
you
wanna
were
go
from
to
Colorado.
Yep, Colorado.
My sister's from Colorado.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm.
That's awesome. Yeah, Colorado is a great place for hiking. I didn't take advantage of it enough when I was there, but now that I've started hiking with Jorn, I think if I ever end up going back to Colorado, I will definitely continue hiking.
What is it, the, Flatheads or whatever they're called?
The Rocky Mountains.
Yeah. But, the Flatirons, I think they're
The Flatirons, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I have
yes.
a friend who has done all of them, so I want to...
Really? That's amazing, yeah.
I want to do those for sure. Get out
Yes.
there.
Yes. It's an absolutely beautiful place. And I think, now that I've gone hiking with Jorn enough and, it's just such an amazing feeling. The nature, the pushing yourself, the exercise, it's like a package all in one. It's amazing, in exchange for going to the gym and doing that kind of thing. I don't know, going to the gym is also very admirable. I admire people that can do it, but something about hiking is just so much more fulfilling to me.
It's a whole different experience.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Each mountain has its own personality almost. It seems new each time. Doesn't
It's
matter.
so
when you do
true.
it.
It's so true.
Based on Alex's recommendation, I will definitely be heading out to Colorado when I go home.
Oh yeah.
I will be dragging you with me, of course. For our listeners, he actually lives very close to me back in the U.S., and we did not meet each other until we
he came
came
here.
by happenstance to the same school
Yeah.
in Fukuoka, Japan.
And
So,
got seated in the same class.
in the same class. The odds were astronomical.
Oh yeah, no,
So-
it was. It was meant to be.
A year from now, I will definitely be going hiking with you on one of our weekend trips.
For sure. I look forward to it.
Mm.
But yeah, no, definitely hiking is not something I saw myself doing a year and a half ago when I first came here. This is completely, what is it? Words. It's
Transition.
yeah, complete opposite from how I was before. So yeah, I definitely want to keep it up. So.
Any other questions we got?
Okay. So I changed your life. You should be grateful to me.
Hey, I've donated so many 1 yen coins.
Sincerely, Jatin. Hey guys.
Hello.
Hello there. Well, yeah. What are the mountains you wanna do? Are there like any hikes you wanna do? Want me to prepare for you?
Like here in Japan before I leave, or like what?
Well, yeah, like when you return to Japan, because you are not getting rid of me, my friend.
Oh,
you will come back. You
Oh
will
yeah,
come
no, I plan to come back. But mayhaps before I leave, the one actual hike we want to do for the route we did for the winter in Raizan.
Oh, okay.
I want to do that in the summer. Then we'll come back, maybe Fuji.
Oh yeah, like but from bottom, right?
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
like I hike Fuji and then like
Ride the bus halfway up.
yeah, well, not even halfway. They go like to the
Almost to the
seventh
summit, yeah.
or eighth station, and then they just walk to station.
Yeah.
Hey, I hike Fuji, yeah.
Hey.
No. If we hiking Fuji from the bottom, like from the Fuji shrine, like at the bottom, you got the city. And then the walk to the mountain, because that must be amazing, like seeing the mountain getting closer and closer.
It's gotta be.
And then the hike up. That is like one of the things on my to-do
Yeah,
list.
I want to see that.
But oh yeah, okay. So Rise on the dangerous version. Okay, can live with that. Can be arranged. And Alex.
Yes. I definitely want to do more hikes outside of Fukuoka. And now with your license, I think that'll be perfect. Because although I love the Fukuoka Tower and all of our views, you know, when we get to the top of the mountain, I do kind of want to see a bit more. So I think for me, maybe just a little bit further away mountains and things.
Okay, we got a comment. Sincerely, Jatin. Oh, you guys live in Japan. Curious to know about vending machines. What is the most weirdest thing you guys have seen available in the vending machines?
Yakitori.
I think the weirdest is right outside the middle school.
Where I try to sell you?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like I think just like a condom sex toy vending machine right in front of a high school.
Yeah, that was probably
That was
weirdest.
probably one of the weirdest things.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just weird because of the location. It's also
I think that was the main thing, yeah.
It's also the only condom vending machine I've encountered in Japan. In
Might have
front
seen
of
one or two other, like in Tokyo. It's kind of like down weird dark alleys, but like...
The places where you would see those types of
Yeah. But yeah, I think
but
that was like the weirdest place.
It was a junior high school, I think.
Yeah, I think it was junior high.
Yeah.
Not
It
even-
was even more
Even
weird
better.
than even
Not
more, even better. Gotta learn it young.
Austin.
Okay. But yeah, we all lived in Japan.
Yeah.
So outside mountains, well, we can go to Kuju Mountains.
Oh yeah, Kuju Mountains. I want to do as well.
We can go to the Kuju Mountains.
I'd say I'd want to do Kuju over Raizan, honestly.
Mm.
Just because, what is it?
Somebody zoom in on his face.
No, but because there's like just a ryokan up at the mountains, like which would be cool to stay at for a night, then like finish them. Finish the mountains.
For people who don't know, ryokan is Japanese inn.
Oh yeah, sorry. But yeah, no, it'd be cool to do that.
Okay, Cincinnati Jatin. Is it true that 70 plus years old people are the majority population in Japan? I did not investigate that yet.
I will say there are a lot of like grandma and grandpa just like hiking in the mountains.
It is so impressive to see the people that are so much older than me fly up those mountains,
Yeah,
not
like it's
even
nothing.
tired.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like hear us like all young and spry foreigners like hiking the mountains, sweating, and here just comes zooming by us like a grandpa, just
Yes, absolutely.
like
amazing.
nothing.
Absolutely.
Like what was it
amazing.
in Kaya-san? Like there's this one guy who like runs up and down the mountain 4 times a day.
Yes. Like there is like the Oji-san around 70, maybe even older. I talked really briefly with the guy when he got a leg cramp, like muscle cramp. And I think he was in his 70s, almost 80, and he was like, oh yeah, every day I just like run and literally run the mountain 3 times up and down. And he got his kind of fan base when we got up the mountain, like everybody was like, hey, get up there! And he just like touched the top of the mountain and
And
went
ran
back
back.
down.
A little bit on those statistics. That also depends on region. So
Absolutely.
So, for example, Fukuoka actually has an increasing birth rate as opposed to mostly metropolitan areas of Japan. So you'll see a lot more older people in the metropolitan areas who may be kind of neglected by society in general. I see we have another question. Go ahead, Joran.
Oh no, it's I think a follow-up. Like it, it's the same person. Oh wow, English.
One more time.
Sincerely, Jatin. I guess it's an issue addressed by government that the younger generation are not staying in Japan. That's why I asked.
So the government is trying to take steps. I do pay attention to a lot of the news here in Japan. The government is trying to take steps, but...
What do you mean with that? I do take a lot.
I don't know what you guys do in your free time.
Hiking.
Well, hiking.
That aside.
We do take a lot of steps.
So I don't know what they do aside from hiking in their free time. However, I do watch a lot of news regarding Japan, and I know the Diet of Japan is trying to make positive impacts to increase the declining birth rate, and they are trying to take steps to increase or mitigate the population decline. However, as far as what younger generations feel is being done, especially in metropolitan areas, is that it's not enough. So, for example, something recently that came up from Prime Minister Kishida was he intended to increase the monthly stipend for parents who have children going into elementary school, double, if I remember correctly, especially if you have 3 or more children. However, most parents said that really isn't a good incentive for us to have more children because you have to think about the future, you have to think about, paying for, because I'm not sure what country you live in, sincerely, Jatin, but high school is not free here, as well as university, of course. So parents are more considerate about the futures of their children, and so they say these stipends are nice, it's nice that things are being given to us throughout the childhood of our newly born children. However, as far as actually raising them past elementary school, it's not enough support. We need a little bit more movement to support the growth of families if we're going to have more children, at least from the reports that I've read so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought it was interesting, coming to Fukuoka,
and seeing so many children.
Absolutely. More than America. I saw babies, I saw families. I was a little bit shocked because I had also heard, Japan's birth rate is declining, and so it's a huge issue. And here I come to Japan, and there are all these children I'm seeing. And so I think that was really interesting, moving to Fukuoka and seeing that, being so surprised by that.
Okay, reaction of Mimi Gimini. Japan consistently has among the highest life expectancy in the world, and the island of Okinawa has the greatest concentration of centenarians.
Centurions.
What?
I think it's
Centenarians?
Centenarians.
Centenarians, okay. People who live to at least 100. Oh, that's actually an interesting fact. I
That
did
is
not
an
know.
interesting fact.
Yep, Okinawa has the longest life expectancy of any other place in the world.
Really? Okinawa in particular?
And believe it or not, scientific studies have said it's because of a highly vegetable diet. There's a vegetable I absolutely despise because of its flavor. I forget what it's called, but it looks like a zucchini, but it's got bumps.
It's got the bumps on it. Oh, what is that called?
It's
it tastes so terrible.
yeah, I can't remember what it's called. It starts with a G.
Either.
Goya. That's
Goya.
it. Goya
Yes.
fruit.
Yes.
It tastes absolutely awful unless you prepare it in a very traditional Japanese style way, which my wife says makes it taste delicious. I have yet to have her cooking that way, so I don't know. But that aside, that was attributed to the long life of Okinawans as a greater whole because it's very nutritious and it's very good for your body. And is native to Okinawa.
Yes.
Just, we were not laughing with Max, we were laughing with the comment of sincerely chatting and condom vending machine. It's a good one.
Absolutely.
But unless there are any other questions, I think we should kind of
Wrap it up.
and the podcast and seeing the interesting the interest in the topic of high age and elderly. Well, we might want to do a podcast about it
Absolutely.
after we have
Do a little bit more research.
Yes, researched it because we'll see what happened. But to all the viewers, thank you for watching. To everybody here, thank you for sharing the interesting, hilarious, and sadly true stories. And if you missed this episode, don't forget to. You can always rewatch this and previous episodes on my YouTube channel, like youtube.com, and then @all2me, like @ symbol, not @all2me. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
Thank you for having us
you.
on.
Nice having us.
Yeah.
Glad to tell some stories and relook about this past year. It was fun.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward for more hikes, you know.
It's got another 3 months, but yeah, me too.
Are you gonna be okay with your leg?
Yes, I'll be okay with my leg. They told me after I'm off the crutches I should be good to go.
You can use the crutch to kill snakes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah!
In the fall, we'll need a spider stick. So.